Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, it just got real.
It just got real. Everyone be on their best behavior. All right, guys, it's 5 after. We got a small little team today, but that's all right. I know it's summertime. If you guys have new teammates who are like maybe a little bit stumbling, all the things that you were just saying yesterday, I hope that never anyone feels that way about this meeting because it's the same meeting link, but we don't know. So maybe if you have new teammates that are supposed to be here, message them and let them know how they can get on, right? Just type in Dan's meeting ID if they go to zoom.com or their link, what have you. So, Dan, honey, I'm so excited to learn from you today. Guys, we get to learn about Flag Day.
Flag Day is a big day. It
It
turns
is.
out
Oh,
it's on
okay.
Saturday. I always say like, hey, when we're doing our financial needs analysis, I say, those big fancy trips you take or, vacations and stuff, like your budget, and when you prepare for things like Flag Day or like Groundhog Day. And I did that like on Friday, I think, and it was literally the following weekend. So she half thought I was serious. She's like, what do you do for Flag Day? I don't know what you do. Well, for here evermore going forward, um, we can be silly and jokey about what those things are, but I want you to think of Flag Day in a different way. Two different ways. Number one, we have a guest speaker today to talk to us a little bit about Flag Day, sincerely and wholeheartedly. And secondarily, I want you to think about Flag Day after we hear from the speaker and think of the concept of planting your flag, staking your claim, a symbol of something much bigger than a piece of fabric on a pole, much more uniting than some colors that were printed. I want us to think about what that might mean for us. Flag Day is a lot of things. Let me share just a concept with you real quick. All right, sharing my screen. Okay, Financial Guardians Flag Day. Isn't that fun? Look at that fanciness. There's some financial guardians right there. Lioness Jessica, we appreciate you and planting your flag. I want you to, I hope you're taking notes. Every meeting we go to, this is an investment of time and focus and energy. If you promise to be here on Tuesdays, we'll promise to do our very best to make it worth your while. And this is part of that. I've actually thought and studied and pondered about this and what this means to me. Jessica, do you recognize this picture by the way?
Oh, I absolutely know where you're at.
This is Jessica's backyard. I walked here from her house. It happens to be on the top of a mountain. I did not bring the flag. I think it would have been cool if I did, but I didn't. But why did someone plant a flag on the top of that mountain? Some ideas of why someone would do that. And that's not an actual question for right this second, but it is one for you to consider and think about when we're talking about planting our flag. Okay. We have a lot of images that invoke emotion with regards to the flag. This is where my sister lives in Washington, D.C. She's probably 30 minutes from here. This is one of the most emotional statues that I know of. There's a lot of emotional statues. Not many can compare to this one. When you listen to the audio recordings of other soldiers talk about this, I'm telling you right now, unless if you don't tear up or all out ball on site right in public, then I'm not sure how human you are because of the power that this represents. It's a whole story, obviously. Yeah. It's planting your flag and Flag Day. There's a lot of things we just go through and it's the motion of, and it's just another day, another time. But if we can pause long enough to create weight for what it is that we do and what we represent and that and who we are as a united front, I think it'll mean more. I think it will rally more. I think it will be more of a magnetic pull for others to join forces with us. Whether they want to be an agent or not, they will see the power of what it is that we do. I'm going to plant a little seed here. One of the powerful things that we do, that we represent, is this holistic opportunity for all. Not the top 10% of income earners, but for all. Equal opportunities. United front, where we serve all. I'm telling you, as I got up early this morning, I literally sprang out of bed. Might have had a puppy sitting on my chest at the time, but here nor there. I was excited about today because our future is worth fighting for. This is a tagline that Julie and I have been talking about for a long time. If you feel like your future is worth fighting for, what does that mean? And I literally want you to start thinking about these things. Now, some of the things we write down, I've said it before, are maybe something that Lacie will say or Darren will say. Maybe it's Alex Young in blessing us with his wisdom. But more often than not, it'll be something that happens in our own mind because of the things that we're talking about. So your future is worth fighting for. That might be worthy of writing, but it's now what? What is the future that we are fighting for, that you personally are fighting for? And if you are willing to fight, the word fight, what does that mean to you? Now, in wartime, fight means fight. Fight means protect. Fight means defense and offense. But guess what? Today we're in wartime too. Against what? Well, there's a whole new meaning on that. But against mediocrity, against good enough. Do your children deserve the best? Sure. Does your spouse deserve the best? Sure. But you need to start with someone else, yourself. Your own personal future, your own personal value system has got to be planted first in order for you to even know what you're fighting for. I asked Lacie to share with us what the flag itself meant to her. Lacie, take it away.
Yeah, and after serving in the military, this is a great honor for me to talk about the flag. Before the military, growing up, my mom, okay, this is the country we live in. You stand for the flag. And it's just something we did. You know, I was growing up in the age where we said the Pledge of Allegiance at school, but didn't really mean a lot to me until I did join the military. And then you really represent and you got to know the past behind the flag and what it means. For the red, it's the blood that has been spilt for this country. And when you see that, It's very emotional. So every time you see the flag, it means a lot more than just a piece of fabric flapping in the wind. The white is the purity of the country. When it was first born, it was innocent and pure. The blue is justice for all. Even back when they wrote the national anthem, they realized there was justice for all. It wasn't just okay, that's my favorite color, put it in on the flag. And then the stars represent each state. I put this flag up behind me on my background because one of my most memorable, and it will always be, you know, okay, getting married, joining the military, I will always remember. But this flag behind me, when Lee and I were traveling in our motorhome, and I wasn't a big Civil War buff, but during our travels, it took us to Fort Sumter, and we had to take a ferry out. Well, if you ever get to go, the first ferry out gets to raise the flag. The last ferry gets to take the flag down. This flag behind me was the garrison flag at the time of the Civil War. So it only has 31 stars. And learning and raising this flag was so memorable to me that I will never forget it. And I learned something, even in the military, going through all that. I did not know that when they raised this flag at the Civil War, even though Kansas was a state at the time, they only released new flags on July 4th. Most people, yes, okay, celebration, we became independent country. If you research the history of the national anthem and why we sing that today, that song was actually written while he was imprisoned. And he said he would not relinquish or give up until that flag fell. And when he saw that flag still flying at the end, that's how he wrote that national anthem. And that's why we sing it today. So when you have just a logo, there's always a meaning behind it. You know, you represent your why into any logo you have. If you look into any product, there's a why behind that logo. So when Dan says it's not just colors printed on a piece of fabric, well, your why is personable to you, and you need to sell that dream and the opportunity to your clients, because it's just not you. It's everybody in this country that represents that flag.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Sometimes their meetings are serious. Sometimes they're goofy. Sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they're entertaining. Sometimes they're motivating. Sometimes, I don't know what you'd classify today as almost somber so far, right? But reflective. I think that's a good thing. I think world and pace and all these things are so quick that we miss the depth until Lacie makes us pause a little bit further. And they say pause and smell the roses, but also pause and feel the weight of our decisions or lack thereof. And when we can plant our flag, create our own meaning, create our own magnetism to where others want to rally and support and lift and encourage and promote, man, that's something I want to be a part of. That's exciting to be a part of. And where the message is bigger than you, the importance is bigger than you. The flag of the United States of America is considerably bigger. That message is considerably bigger than any individual soldier or citizen. But collectively, it represents us all. Okay. Now what? Well, here we go. We're going to talk just a little bit more about this one. I love this. Your future is worth fighting for. There's just spoiler alert. This will be up 2 more times. Just saying, on purpose. Okay. Taking ownership and claiming your success. What does that mean to you personally? It might mean something different to Kendra or to Candy or to Bethany, but it should mean something. And I know it does, quite frankly. Taking ownership and claiming your success. What is claiming your success? Encourage you, agents, to view planting your flag as taking ownership of business and claiming future success. Okay. Setting bold goals and aiming high. Just as explorers plant their flag on significant achievements, and I don't know how significant that hill or mountain is behind your house, Jessica, but I thought that was pretty cool. Encourage you to be ambitious to find your own mountaintops. Julie and I love mountaintops. We are a sucker for mountaintops. We were taking a walk just a couple days ago around, and we looked up and we saw Mount Timpanogos again, and the snow is melting just finally. And we said, yeah, we need to get up there again. It's a beautiful, very ambitious mountain. And it's about 30 minutes from our house, and it's just like we gotta get over there to it. All right, build a strong foundation. Now, the foundation Julie's going to talk about here in a little bit is the foundation by which we are all built on, either a rocky one or a solid one. Now, Ray, he's a grandpa as of yesterday because his agent got an agent. See what I did there? He's a grandpa as of yesterday. So a little trepidation in his voice and his excitement for yay, and then, oh, shoot, now what? So let's build a foundation. Julie's going to talk about that foundation and how you can pick your path, a quick movement forward, a mediocre one, or a little bit slower out of the gate. And that's okay. Let's talk about that foundation. And defining our unique identity. When Kendra and I met for the first time, I saw her unique identity. And what she continues to build and develop that identity. Who was the very, very first person in our waiting room for this meeting? Kendra. Who shows up on Fridays at Toastmasters to better her skill set, even though she doesn't feel comfortable doing it? Kendra. Actually, and a few other people too in our team. Actually, last Friday was like the Financial Guardians team show off. It was like 4 of us in there. It was actually pretty sweet. Define your unique identity. So we have a flag that we all rally behind. We have financial guardians that we rally behind. But what does that represent? It doesn't represent a clone or a avatar of one human. It represents Ray Keller. It represents Sam in a powerful way. It represents Darren. Truth be told, Alex, whether you believe it or not, it represents Alex Young. Things I've learned from his book that I read cover to cover, well, e-page to e-page, we've applied in our business. It has a lot to do with the unique identity of Mandy Bishop, for sure, and Candy's energy. And Jessica, she's been a part of this family before she was a part of this family, at least officially. But leaving also a lasting impression in anyone who comes across a financial guardian. Julie and I talked about the swagger that our team has. We talked about this about 3.5 years ago. You know what our team consisted of? Well, Dan. Not Julie, just Dan. And then Julie. And then one more, and then one more, and then one more. And we said, hold on. We need to decide what we represent. Even then, I want you to decide what you represent. What is this impression that we leave? Do we show up on time? Do we show up prepared? Do we show up ready to win? A high level and standard of excellence. You think of the Marines. You think of Lacie serving our country and us, and the caliber and expectation she had in herself. That's the standard that you need to decide. Why? You'll never guess. Because your future is worth fighting for. Okay. I wanted to share with you something else. One of the standards by which we live, and Kendra, don't you dare tell Toastmasters how hard I am at sharing how hard of a time I'm having sharing my screen.
Girl, rat him out or hold it over his head.
They would thrash me right now. Like, no joke, seriously. Kendra, can you imagine Jamar spell? Like, oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. He'd be like, just start over, Dan. Just start over. Who knows what this is? What does this represent? What are we looking at here? We all know, right? It's our financial needs analysis. What are some reasons we do a financial needs analysis? And why am I even talking about that at this point? I want to talk about the uniquenesses that the financial guardians and the WFG that we bring to the marketplace, the uniquenesses, the holistic approach. You see the categories of finance. I met with several guys, probably a dozen guys last night around a campfire. I haven't done that in a while. I took a 30-minute shower and I still smell like smoke. But we were talking, there was another financial guy in there. And he's like, yeah, we don't do what you do. I was like, yeah, I know. I know you don't. Quote unquote, we don't do what you do. Quote unquote. His name's Daniel. My name's Dan. We had a good time on it. But what is it that we do? And why is it that we do it? A part of that is the financial needs analysis. Instead of pitching product, what are some, and this is an actual question. So you can come off mute and just jump in. Just brainstorm with me a few of the reasons and the importances of doing a financial needs analysis and who potentially those are for. So what do you think some of the values are? Yeah, Jessica, just come off mute, start talking.
I love this page in the presentation. Personally, I feel that the financial needs analysis allows us to see where our clients are, what help they need specifically, whether it's getting, the debt snowball under control and helping guide. But this page lets me get to know them on such a deeper level. It tells me their fears, their happiness, the things that they're already proud of on that page, or the things where they're like, I don't have any of those. Where do I start?
Yeah.
I like the aha moment that they get when they finally see the financial needs analysis, when they see where their money's going and they're like, oh, I'm spending that much that like eating out, or well, of course my mortgage is over half my income. But that aha moment when they finally get to see it in like real time or live from New York.
Yep. That's awesome.
Well, it also gives you a really good way to know what's suitable for people. I mean, you're not shooting in the dark. You're not trying to sell them a $500,000 policy when they need to have a $100,000 policy, or vice versa. It helps you maximize your offering to them to be correct for them, where a lot of people that just are selling a product don't have any idea what their client, really, what their financial situation really is.
Yeah, great job.
I also like that it brings instead of going, I don't know, I need $1 million for 30 years. Well, do you need $1 million for 30 years? Do you need $1 million for 10 years? And then maybe we can build you up to $1 million so you don't have to pay for your 30-year term for 30 years. Just it gives like Ray said, a way to give them the best bang for their buck, the best return on their investment to themselves.
Alex, read what you said in the comments.
It helps give them the information that can lead them to take the weight off their shoulders and be their authentic selves.
What do you
mean? I think when we're worried too internally, we lose track of all the goodness that is external. And part of that is your essence. Part of that is who you are. You lose a little bit of who you are when you lose sight of who you are because you're focused on how little you might be. When in reality, you actually are much bigger than you believe that you are. So just simply being able to get yourself out there by removing tension in your life, you're able to worry less and live more.
So good. We have the best team ever, you guys.
I was gonna say, does our little old FNA do some of that? Really?
No.
One thing I love too is coming from a world where we didn't do FNAs and we just kind of like sold products. Lots of us and some of your recruits and some people who want to come on the team will say, I'm not a salesperson. Like, fired up. Great. So glad, because you don't have to be with the FNA, right? You educate them, then you put in the information that they've given you, and this financial needs analysis spits out exactly what they need. And so basically you're just get to be a servant agent and say, hey, you told me this, based off of this to hit your goals, I'm able to help you get to the next step. So we don't have to be salespeople. We just get to serve.
Yeah, we were just told that yesterday, actually. I brought Julie on to close a deal for me yesterday. I've been working out with a lady for a long time, and I said, Julie, you need to come in here and seal the deal for me. So basically she did. So she did.
I think I'll add to my thought real quick, if that's
Please.
all right. So something that I'm learning through therapy, shout out to therapy, everybody should go, is you can get yourself into a negative headspace, either as a business owner or as an individual, by saying, when I have enough, I will be able to do insert whatever that number one goal is. But that sets a precedent of that there is a gap that you don't have enough. And so therefore that win is far out, and therefore you can't be in that present self. But I am enough. And the FNA teaches me that by taking the next best step, I will have enough. So being able to just simply know that right now I can make a difference in my life. And right now I can help somebody else make a difference in their life.
Amen. I think we're done here. Just kidding. We're not done yet. Okay. Yes, Alex. Yes, exactly what I'm talking about. Yes. Thank you so much. So your future is worth fighting for. There are uniquenesses that we do. The financial needs analysis is more in line with what the emotional concepts that everybody has been speaking of, than even, not instead of, but as well as, but as important as the numeric concepts that it brings. What do I mean? What do I mean? Every single person I've spoken with, whether they make 20,000 a year or 20,000 a month or more, actually, they walk through that financial needs analysis with shame, with embarrassment. Almost everyone, at least parts of it, right? Every number is not a number. For you and I to look at a data sheet Those numbers are literally just numbers. But as we do a financial needs analysis for Kendra or for Bethany, those numbers represent what? They represent success, wins, or losses in their own mind, right? It's a high savings account, or it's a low debt, or it's a high debt and a low save, right? And every dollar, every number has a story and an emotion tied to it. So part of this financial needs analysis, now you're saying, well, shoot, man, that sounds like a lot to go through and to experience. How about we not? How about we not? I have a theory. My theory is simply this. I don't know if it's accurate or not. I think it is because it's my theory. But my theory says that the financial needs analysis is more for the client than it is for us. More, not all, but more. Is it for us? Yeah, you better believe it's for us. We need to know what the next steps are, what they're working on, how far they've come, what kind of language they're speaking, what kind of understanding they have. Yes, it's for us. Is it ludicrous to think that it's more for them? Well, let me case in point this. And the reason I'm talking about this in such granular detail is because we have a need coming up. And I want to understand why that need is so powerful. And the financial needs analysis will take them on a journey. The simplest of journeys is simply to say, why do I need you? Said the client. Darren, you're great and all, but I have 2 financial advisors, a CPA, a bookkeeper, a tax guy, and health insurance, life insurance, and every other car insurance agent I have an army. Why do I need you? And, I'm doing all right. Fan-freaking-tastic. It helps them go from where I am to where I want to be. Well, if they already think they're where they want to be, there's no clarity. There's no understanding. There's no I am here. And definitely not in a holistic approach. How many of those people they just listed off know each other, let alone talk and strategize with one another? Nobody. Maybe there's some people that do onesie twosies, but generally speaking, nobody. And so those are siloed recommendation. Your tax guy is saying to do this, your health insurance and your life insurance and your financial guy, they're all siloed recommendations versus a holistic approach by which we put all of those concepts together and not only see what you have, but more importantly, why you have it, and if it's doubled down or not enough. Strategically making sure you're on the right road and making good time, not just being busy, but being productive. Let's see how these numbers play with one another. And what did Alex say? Let's allow you to be vulnerable and real, not even with me, with yourself. With yourself. I'll say it again. With yourself. Because they haven't paused long enough to see it, right? And so once they do see it, they're like, you know what? This isn't as scary. I had to pull it out and put it in the light, but this isn't as scary as I thought it might be. And we're allowing now, are we going to be say, oh, mine was way worse than that, and this or that? A lot of people have a lot more debt. No, not necessarily to do that. No, you don't need to do that. Because is a lot of debt bad? Yeah, a lot of debt's bad. Right? They're not bad. But I know subconsciously, if you ever listen to the psychology of money, a lot of times, more often than not, and specifically guys, girls will do it too, obviously, duh. But we've allocated our worth with our net worth. We've connected our worth with our net worth. If our net worth is low, then my worth as a human being might, in my subconscious or even conscious mind, drops. So part of that financial needs analysis is to disconnect those a little bit and to start thinking abundance. What did Alex say again? This is the Alex show, I guess. Sam's about to drop some nuggets on us, I'm sure. I can't wait. But until then, Alex, I got to quote you now. he talks about abundance or scarcity, right? And our mindset of how we look at these things. The financial needs analysis and wrapping this whole thing up is a vital tool, because if we lead with product, we're no different than anyone else, or any other YouTube video, or any other website, or any other click funnel, or any other Instagram 30-second post. They're product based, not people based. We need to talk to them and see what they have. They need to share with us that emotion. And they, doing the financial needs analysis, they finally, for the first time, oftentimes in their whole life, put everything in one place, and they can see it as clearly as we can. It's not all that complicated, but the emotional journey sometimes is. So allow us to run some of those with you. And here's our challenge. Here we go. We'll wrap it up. We were asked a painful question, Julie and I were, by Steve Haig. A powerful and painful question. Sometimes, he seems all nice, but sometimes he's just flat out mean. Big bully. Blast him. It's like one of those tough love things, right? It says, how many agents do you have? How many agents are showing up to Tuesday meetings? Great. How many people you're working with? This many. Great. Super duper. How many agents are helping? Not talking about helping, not planning on helping, not doing a 90-day plan, not reading a book about helping, not going to a class about helping, not going and getting a license about helping. Let me rephrase. How many of your agents are helping, doing a financial needs analysis with one person a week? Consistently, at least one person a week. Big bully. Is that enough? No, it's not enough. There's 6 billion people on the planet. Is one enough? No, it's not enough. Right? But there's an importance level to it, because it helps them walk through that journey. They can share as much or as little as they want. The singular only reason that they wouldn't want to share more is a trust factor. There's a book called The Speed of Trust. It talked about doing $1 million deals with a handshake. No contract, no nothing. They're on a walk. They're talking it out. You know what? I think we should move forward with this. Let's shake on it. $1 million deals. Instantaneous. Why? Because speed of trust. If we can create and build that trust and that relationship, there'll be the speed of trust to take the next step. Let me show you the power of what a financial needs analysis has done for others just like yourself. You open to taking a look? You open to having a conversation about that? You open to let me pull back the curtains and let you see what we do for people? Oh, you are. Fantastic. Let's get started. There's a way to make that happen, right? Invite Julie to be a part of those conversations, and myself and others who are creating that reality over and over. And the more often that you do financial needs analysis for individuals and have an environment where a conversation about finance can happen in that environment without frustration, without a fight, and potentially, if we dial it in correctly, you've heard me say it before, we can have a financial conversation that is actually fun. It could be, because progress, not perfection. One of the things that our flag and our staking our claim and our future stands for is the uniqueness in the way that we serve our clients. The financial needs analysis is one of them. Here's the challenge. Can you do this for me or write this down? Can you, there's a min and max and all these things, no matter what, can we not finish a single week without doing at least one financial needs analysis? Julie, that stands for you. Dan Eisen, that stands for you. We don't get a pass because we're married. It has nothing to do with it. Lee and Lacie. Lee has to send it over to Lacie so that she can actually do it for her. There you go. A financial needs analysis and open to a conversation about your future. Because why? You'll never guess. It's worth fighting for. And a financial needs analysis creates a roadmap, and it disconnects them from their self-worth is not their net worth. And that they have more control than they think they do. That we want to be a difference maker, a flag carrier. We want to stake our claim and pronounce our standard. What is your standard? I hope it's more than one, but let's say at least one per week. Sometimes our weeks slip by and we're like, oh shoot, I haven't actually done one of those yet. I've talked to a lot of people, went to a lot of meetings, I've been busy, I'm not lazy, but the actual help of an individual that starts with a financial needs analysis. Let's create that reality for us and start doing, no matter what, at least one. And then you could say at least one policy. And then you can say at least one something else. I was going to keep going, but Julie, what are your thoughts on that challenge that we've already discussed, by the way? Sorry, no, but and insight about why it's important.
That's tough because it's really hard for me to not be like, well, duh, that's what we're all here for. But personally, how many times have like weeks slipped by and months sometimes? And so I love that, just the commitment of, hey, we're going to help one person, one family every single week. That's why we signed up. That's why we go to team meetings. That's why we go to trainings. That's why we're here, is to not talk about helping people, but actually help people. I hate Steve for making me look in the mirror on this. Because when your mentor asks you, how many families is each of your agent actually helping every single week? And I have to say 0. That's a gut punch. And so no more. We are going to celebrate like crazy every single week. So I need you guys to text me when you guys do your F&A and be like, holy cow, I did one. It's been like a 3-week drought, but I got it in. One going forward. I need you to text me if there's a reason why you can't do it. Like, maybe you're locked out of WFG. Maybe you don't know how to go into WFG. Maybe your skill set is scary. Like, maybe you've got so much going on, you don't know where to start. So let me be part of that with you.
Or the solution, yeah.
Yeah. Let me help you get to that self-sufficiency stage. My goal isn't to come in and like helicopter mom. It's to come in and teach you how to do it on your own. And so I'm really excited. This was Steve's idea to bring it up and celebrate it, because he needed to get me to stop crying one way. And one way is to take action, just like F&As. So I'm proud of you. I love this team. And it's time for our planting of the flag to include us taking it to the next level and really making that impact. So those are my thoughts, honey.
Julie loved the concept of our own financial needs analysis, by the way. She just thought it was the most beautiful.
Does everyone know this story?
Oh, wait, no, that wasn't, no.
I canceled my F&A with Dan and Steve twice. The Steve Haig. Dan came in and said, hey, honey, we're doing our F&A with my mentor. And I was like, no, we're not. Bye. And then he did it to me again. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. I still wear makeup to bed. We're not doing this. But here we are. And so you're going to get clients like Julie. You're going to get agents like Julie. You're going to get tons of people who come on and say absolutely not, because they're too afraid, too ashamed, haven't confronted their past, don't know what the solution could be, but you're that solution. Be somebody, Steve, for Julie.
Was it worth it? It wasn't easy, but was it worth it?
Hell yeah, it was worth it. Oh my gosh. I didn't know that an 18% interest rate on a car loan was bad. Lace, I see that face of judgment. I'd like to remind you that I was a business owner. I was a district coordinator, a district sales coordinator for AFLAG, and a director at a nonprofit. And I didn't know that was bad. So who else out there do you need to go literally save?
That was not a look of
she's like, actually, correction.
Oh my God, look of where you have come from, where you were at to where you're at now.
And that would have never happened without Steve Haig and without Dan being coachable to listen to Steve on how to get me to that appointment. Otherwise, well, she's just not part of the finances. I handle the finances. We just got engaged. We just got married.
Yep. All right, it's 9:50, at least our time. If it's not 9:50 where you are, then you need to move. Be over here with us. So that'd be great. Just kidding, kind of. All right. We are wrapping things up. I appreciate. Can we express our gratitude to Lacie for showing up and showing off today? Can we express that? I'm not sure exactly all I expected, but that was the next level. That was powerful. And we appreciate you, Lacie. Part of what we represent is you. You're a big part of this thing. And everyone else too. We're all ingredients to the final product. And I want you to stake your claim, and I want you to plant your flag, and whatever that happens to mean for you. And we're going to talk a lot more about that at convention in our fancy house. And we're going to talk a lot about what that means as far as creating an opportunity to serve and help other people, right? In a bigger scale. And so I'm excited to be a part of that with you and that journey. I'm honored. I truly, truly am. It's a special word, and I don't use it lightly, but it is the correct word and appropriate word today, specifically after hearing Lacie. I don't like presenting after things like that. But I guess that was my turn, so I had to. But Lacie, we appreciate you, and thank you. Alex, we appreciate you. Darren and Candy and Crystal and Mandy and Bethany and Sam, you all have a place here. And I want you to stake your claim. I know you have, but think about that and what that represents for you personally. Appreciate you guys all. Thanks for choosing to be and invest with us today. And we're looking forward to doing it again next week and hopefully talking to you quite a few times between now and then. Have a great day today. Thanks, guys. Happy Flag Day.
Happy Flag Day. Have a great day, guys.